Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Power episode of Iron Panther Presents. Today, we shall be talking about Tariq, International Man of Mystery, apparently. As we talk about Season 3, Episode 5 of Book 2, just in case we were on the same sheet of music. We went to fake Italy. How did that work out for everybody? The blue screen was real. Damn it. I was like, work on your CGI budget, please, Power. But what do we think about the acting? Who made it? Who didn't make it? Let's get to all this. Kim, what did you think of the mid-season episode?
I actually enjoyed this episode. I did. I was glad. I think Mary did a really good job with her acting this episode. You could feel that she was feeling everything she was saying, which was wonderful. It was refreshing. Even the anger. I mean, the anger that she felt towards Enzo. I don't know. Maybe it's the New Yorker, but I would have pulled knives from the cutting board and just sliced him up. I mean, don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you killed my kid. Like, you can't get another one of those. You know what I'm saying? Like, this, you can only have one kid that's that kid, you know? So I would, oh my God. Anywho, and I thought Lorenzo did a good job too. The actor who plays Lorenzo, he played it well. And we knew he was gonna die, right? Because they were like giving him more lines. He was talking a lot, like the past episodes with Kane and stuff like that. So he's a good actor too. So I was happy to hear him get more lines and things like that. The whole trip to Italy, I thought was very fake. I guess I could say.
For a technical term, fake.
Yeah, right. I mean, because don't get me wrong. Tariq is a smart young man, but he's now all of a sudden like RJ's protege or something. Like what? Like
I was actually trying to think of that word. I think protege. Like that's all of a sudden that never works out. That never works out for these men. Like no. I think by now we've proven any man who's Tariq's daddy or tries to be Tariq's daddy,
they die.
Will be murdered.
Yes,
probably by Tariq.
Yes, so, for sure. I was like,
not gonna work out.
But I do think that they're trying to somehow tie this guy to James in some way. Like James has come across him. James knows him. Maybe he's James' enemy. Maybe he's one of James' friends. Maybe he's Breeze. Like, I don't know. No, I'm just joking. But you know what I'm saying? Like he's somebody, he's somebody from the past, right?
Yeah.
That's what I think he's somebody from the past. And only Tasha would know who he is. Right? So she may make a cameo, right? Like Tariq gets in contact with her. And then also too, I thought that this was a waste of time. We know that Tariq can speak Spanish. We know that Michael Rainey can speak, not Spanish, Italian.
Italian, yeah.
So you said that the reason why he went on the trip was because he could translate. He translated 3 words. 3 words. I was like, the Italian people were speaking English the entire time, except for one time. And then he translated that and it was over. I was like, And then RJ was like, pronto. That's Italian, right? What?
Stop.
Like, yes, that threw me for a loop. Okay. And then when Brayden dropped his phone, Brayden is a millennial. Okay. If they drop anything other than a phone, they don't care. But a phone, they lose their mind. Okay, where's my phone? Oh shoot, where's my phone? So no, that was not believable to me. That was a way for us to now have Kiki kind of getting suspicious of what Brayden's doing. Right? She needs to know what's going on. So, anywho, I enjoyed the episode. I'm not really trying to shit all over the show, but I thought it was pretty good. I did enjoy it. Now this is gonna sound. It's not meant to sound the way it's going to sound. I don't want to see Drew in the bed ever again this entire season. I don't. Okay? I don't really need to see anyone in the bed, but especially...
But he's...
No, we've seen him enough this... He is in the bed as much as Ghost was in the bed with Angela. And I'm like, no, we don't need that, okay? We just don't. Because a lot of times, we didn't need Angela and Ghost in the bed as many times as we saw them, right? I mean...
We didn't need it.
We didn't need it,
Yeah,
I gotta be 100. I gotta be 100. I was like, we didn't need it, but I was like,
it's
all
like,
right.
but
at least with Drew, at least it leads to drug dealing. Like it has some connection
to
true.
Well,
that is.
I disagree.
But remember, it's a Romeo and Juliet kind of thing with Ghost and Angela, right?
Yeah,
but they were the stars of the show. So yes, they should.
No, I'm saying it's in comparison to the other characters in that we see with
like Brayden and Kiki. Like Brayden and Kiki.
Yeah, Brayden and Kiki could be in bed.
Like that doesn't like that. We don't need to see that because
none of that because that did not come back to mean anything like at all.
What got me too, right? And this is just me being a germaphobe. They got right out of the bed. Nobody took a shower, nobody rinsed or anything, and they went straight to the hospital.
Yeah,
they would. And David, there was no condoms. Did you not notice that?
Don't get me started.
I'm just saying.
Don't get me started. There was
nothing. There was no condom. There was nothing to pull off.
It was so many things. I was like, wait. Like that's the least of my problems with this episode. But I appreciate that we've been together long enough that you go,
yes.
What?
Yeah, that threw me. I was like, okay, so it's fine to show this type of sex, but we do need to stress, that these people are being safe, right? Whether it's homosexual, whether it's just
prep. What we learned from Uncoupled, what we learned from a legit gay show by gay people.
Yes.
Is that the only thing you need to make sure your partner has is prep, and you can get up in there anytime you want. That's what we learned, and that conversation did not come up. Coming,
yeah.
Did. I mean, so I was like,
yeah.
Grindr never came back. Like that had nothing to do with anything. They could have just met and been like, "Hey, dude, you lost weight. You want to fuck?" And that would have been fine because the Grindr thing never turned to be anything. And I'm like, why do we even have to see that shit? Like.
I think that they're concentrating on Drew more because he's since Lorenzo has passed, right? We feel like Drew is going to become the leader of the family, and Kane is going to back down. I think based on his own guilt about his father. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like Kane is gonna. I don't think Kane is going to push the point with Drew. I think Kane is going to do whatever he wants to do, though. You know what I mean? Like he's going to do whatever he wants.
I would be interested to see the power vacuum after Lorenzo. Not that. Also, as we discussed a few times, even last week, you knew Lorenzo was going to die. He's the only Tejada not in the photo for season 3.
Yeah.
Only one. So they're like, let's not even bother because nah. Like, what do you make Pat episode 5, sir? I was like, that's a spoiler. That's definitely a spoiler.
Yeah. Well, they keep showing the trailer. This is one guy. I don't know what his name is. Like. No later or something like that. Anyway, he recaps. This dude has advanced copies of previews. And I'm like, stop putting him on my timeline because, it keeps showing up. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see what's coming up. Like episode 7, 8, all it. No, it's just too much. It's too much. They need.
I think that's just Brett Mahoney thing because he did the same thing with Empire. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so that's just
it's annoying. Stop doing it.
So look. But we got KJ. We got KJ Beats back for episode 5. KJ, what did you think of this episode?
Yeah, first off, I just thought it was like all over the place for one, because it's I mean a lot of things happen, and there's only a few parts of this episode that I kind of really enjoyed and really liked, because everything else for me it was just like I tried to make sense of it, try to, see where they was going with it, but it was like because I kind of saw the red flags, like with the whole thing with Noma's daughter, that just came out of nowhere, and it was just like, well, y'all could have just built that up, like, from at least when y'all first showed Noma in episode 1, you know what I'm saying? Like all of a sudden she got a daughter now, and then like. It's like if you want to connect like with Mecca, make it seem like, okay, not only did Mecca have a kid with Monet, but he also had a kid with Noma. That connects, you know what I'm saying, with story-wise. But you know what I'm saying, like now, like you bring this other dude in who claims, Noma X or what have you, and all of a sudden, oh, not only is Noma X, she has a daughter. with this Italian dude as well. So I'm like, that just came out of nowhere. And it was like, y'all could at least, all right, y'all could at least, hinted at that or a couple of episodes ago, so that way it would be like a build up. Like, I don't know, I just feel like they just throw stuff in there like, okay, bing, 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 you know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm gonna throw this at you, and I'm gonna throw this at you. Then it's like, okay, whoa, whoa, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like with season 2, I kind of liked it a little bit better because at least they build up Mecha's character to somewhat, I guess. And but even though he turned out to be a snitch, but it still kind of it was a build up. It's like compared to Noma, it's like she's just like they're just throwing stuff at us, you know what I'm saying? But overall, other than that, I think I pretty much enjoyed everything else, Lorenzo, his last moments and everything, and Monet is shiesty, man. She is really shiesty, so yeah, it's pretty much crazy, man. Like it was a like yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what Giovanni got. Giovanni, what did you think of this episode? Are you reading that one?
Yeah. I was just looking at my notes in the comments. So basically, this is like, as far as the whole Drew situation, I'm like, that was just biologically not possible the way that they were positioned.
Don't do that, man. Don't do that. I did that one video and they shitted on me. They're like, David, why are we going through this? I was like, let's not.
Okay,
let's not do that.
Yeah, I ain't even say nothing.
So all right, so let's just stick with those characters, right? As to start off. Okay, so have they ever heard of something called the cloud?
In what instance? Which part are we talking about the cloud?
Because I'm like, they're like, oh, well, we got the phone, so
okay, got
we got this. Then
you're right, Jemani. I was thinking exactly the same thing.
Right, yep. and then I'm like, all right, if you want me to suspend disbelief, don't put stuff blatantly in my face, because you're like, they do this in the ambulance bay of the hospital, which has cameras, right? And then they do it next to a cop car. The cop car is in the entire scene the whole way through, right? Which has
dashboard
and rear, like the back camera or whatever as well. And they're doing all this and talking while they do it, and then they destroy the phone and leave it there.
Ignorance.
I mean, it's in a drainage ditch, so I'm gonna say that that's not a bad thing. But in the car, the police car has to be turned on for the cameras to work. They don't just work.
But the hospital cameras, he's absolutely right, because all they're gonna
they did have on those big hoodies. So.
And look in the drainage ditch. They're just gonna be like, wait, we see them breaking up the phone and sticking it in the drainage ditch. Let's just open the drainage ditch. How about you just take it to the car? How about you just drive back to New York?
Throw it out the window or something,
and destroy it there.
And I'm like, I have an iPhone. I've dropped an iPhone. I've cracked the screen. But I'm like, they're making these phones look like it,
like it's burner phones. It's like,
yes. Like, how do you just break a phone with your hand? Like,
you can't.
No,
you can't.
So
stop it. This ain't Power Book 1 when they had the flip phones that you bought from 7-Eleven. Like, you could do that then, and even that took some effort. Like, it took some effort to break those phones. I'm like, stop it.
So anyway, all right. So I thought they paid the lady off or something. They just said, we're a family member, and they just gave it. And I'm like,
no. They gave her a wad of money.
Okay.
They
gave her 2 wads of money.
Okay, all right. I missed that.
Mm-hmm.
Now when Blanca magically showed up 2 seconds after they left and somehow didn't see them, then her story was like, well, the family came. Oh, okay. Do you got footage? I'm just asking. You got footage in here? No, we ain't got that.
You have a name who signed it out?
Right? Can I see the sign out log? No, they didn't do that. They just said family and showed up.
All right. So once again, all right. He's a CI, right? Right?
Which one? The guy that got shot that's in the okay.
Right? He's dead. He's a CI, right? Yes. He's basically undercover, right?
Yes.
Right.
He has no passcode on his phone.
Stop it.
No thumbprint, no facial ID.
Hey, he's a person. Fuck all CI. He's a human being with an iPhone. You know, iPhones have security. Like that's basic shit. Like we all got that. I was like, damn it.
But no, they couldn't afford to have another scene instead of in the parking lot. They go to some tech guy. At least the guy could have like did like some little old school Nintendo code where like, you know, they do like Morse code with the up down button or something, and then say, you know, we unlock the phone that way or something. Didn't even give us that. They just
fuck all that. Hey, no, Giovanni, you know what writers do now? The face thing. They should have snuck back into the hospital, went up to the guy's room, put the phone next to his face as he's dying.
Yeah, no, I'm saying they got the phone. They could have went to the morgue, like when they took the body down or something, and then, you know, and took the picture of the face or something. They could have did that, but no. Anyway, so as far as the writing goes, since you brought that up, right? They don't write. I believe they just ad-lib this thing, like, because they talk about these you know, these table reads, and then Courtney Kemp shows up to the actual table reads. That's like her only involvement, it seems to be, or whatever. Yeah. And you know, that's where I heard her talk about Michael Early, who's going to make sure that next season is the last season, right? So enjoy it while it lasts. So anyway, when it was the whole scene when they got back to the hotel was just hilarious. Effie is the best written character on the show because Courtney Kemp says that she likes her the most or whatever. She would do a spinoff for her because the whole line with I'm sure he will be back by appropriate business hours for coworkers. I was dying laughing.
Yeah, right? That was funny. But she's right though. You don't come knocking on somebody's door.
Yeah, like
12, 1 o'clock in the morning, looking for your boyfriend.
Well, maybe if they made any effort to tie this story together, she would have been like, we're fucking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking for the man. I thought this was going to be our
No, Kiki's not going to let anybody know she's fucking Brayden.
But I'm saying that should have been a conversation. Like, friends, like Brayden and fucking Tariq, like, what happened? Like, yeah, I'd be like, we're something. Like, if they were something and they try to develop that, then she's just looking for her man and she's concerned. Like, that would why was she not at the party?
Because, you know,
exactly.
How is Brayden, right? She finds the phone when they're in the hangar of the airport, right? He has headphones on and he's listening to something.
To what?
How does he continue to listen to it if he dropped the phone?
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate with you.
I'm like, how long range are these earbuds?
I'm gonna play devil's advocate with you and say that's his burner drug phone. But either way, even more reason why he's not gonna let it out of his sight. Even more reason.
That is, I think, I thought it was a burner phone too.
It has to be. He's not stupid enough to use his main phone as also his cryptocurrency drug phone. Like, it's gonna be a separate phone, but that's even more reason that he should be like, I got it right here. Because it fell in front of him. Like, he almost saw it fall and he just turned around. So I will say that. And then they were flying to fucking Italy. That's hours in the sky that she could go, hey, did you drop your phone? There's some strange things happening on the phone. Like, it's not like they went straight to the business meeting. They had hours over continents to discuss this. And she made no effort to do any of that. You just hold up the phone for what?
Off screen.
Yeah.
Stop.
And the last thing, right, as far as Effie goes, right? I think this might be like all-time best lines in Power, right? And I actually wrote it down.
Oh shit.
Like, this is like it's I didn't see where they took him. Tariq. He's not answering why is he not answering the phone? Effie. Because they took him. I'm like,
that was a moment of dumbness for Tariq. It was like, why ask that question? You know the answer to the question. So it was like, but when you're nervous, you don't know what's going on, you do ask dumb questions. Like,
but this is a man who's murdered quite a few people at this point. Like, he's a very experienced criminal. I mean, I gotta.
True, but he can have a dumb.
No, he's not.
He's human. He can have a dumb moment.
I'm like, I'm like, he has people cleaning up his bodies for him, you know, a la the first episode of the season, and as well as now he's second guessing Effie because she's like, oh, well, you know, we could just kidnap her daughter or threaten her daughter's life or something like that. But, you know, you don't find anything weird with she just killed her baby daddy?
Stop it.
Killed your father.
Stop it. Oh, true, but that's not what he said. Excuse me. And I made a point about this. Mr. Hood Tariq was like, do you realize she killed the father of her daughter? I was like, who the fuck talks like this in the Power Book 2 universe? You can kiss my black ass. You Hood Tariq. What you're supposed to say is she murdered her baby daddy. And that be wrong. That bitch crazy. Like, that's what he should have said. But all of a sudden he got sense now. I'm like, let's not do this. Let's keep him hood like you're trying to make him. All right. I was irritated.
And I'm like, Stacey has the answer to her question about how is she getting her edges and nails done and manicured and everything. Because Lauren is slipping out like I'm like, all that security and she could just dip out just like that?
With a fucking box cutter, and the first place she goes is Tariq. Like because she knows exactly where he is. It's like, I need to go talk to you, baby.
Plot convenience. Like,
and where does she get a phone to text Tariq if Jenny took everything from her? You
go
see what I'm
to
saying?
your mama. Go to your parents. Like, go to hey, but I'm not dead.
So I went back to the last season, to the season finale or whatever, because I wanted to see about, the whole Jenny and her finding out and telling Sax, she's dead and all this type of stuff. And I'm like, how is it that the way her parents were, there's no way that it's just going to be an accident and they're just going to go away. I'm like, they didn't like Tariq to begin with. And now all of this, she's going to testify and everything. And then Brayden comes out as saying he was drug dealing on campus. And the Huxtables are not going to necessarily make a media event out of it, because I call it the Huxtables because they basically Ennis Cosby Lauren, the way that she got into an accident on the side of the road and her body just disappeared. And so
you're going in and out that way. So it does seem suspicious with that. The parents would have said something. They would have looked for a body. We talked about that before, though.
It doesn't make any. This whole storyline makes no sense, because if your child is missing, whether someone says they're dead or not, you are absolutely gonna. You need to see a body. You need to see limbs, and like a foot. I'm saying, like if they say found pieces of her, right, something like that. You need to see it because it's your child. There's no closure if you don't see them. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like this is, and then funeral. Tariq was the boyfriend, right?
Right.
You think that her parents would be like, Tariq, oh my God, right? And have him come over.
They don't. They don't do funerals in the Power universe. I mean, just in general. Like, I think only Edge.
Like the parent, they would. If you have a girlfriend, right? If your girlfriend dies, the family's gonna be like, "Oh, David, I'm so sorry."
I agree with you, Kim. I 100%. No, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying, like, this show said fuck it, and she's still Warren is still trying to defend a man that photo evidence says he already moved on to the next bitch. So what are we even doing? Like, he's clearly dating the woman who tried to murder me, and she's like, Tariq, you didn't try to kill me, right? No, I would never do that. Let's talk about it. He's going to now, though, because what I heard is you're working with the feds against me, right? That's what you just told me, right?
And that's what you were doing last season, and then you that's why I got you out of town. And now you're back with them again?
So Lauren is not long for this world, y'all.
I'm like,
she shouldn't. She said too much. She said too much.
You don't tell this dude that. I'm assuming they want us to believe that now all of a sudden Tariq is like, oh my God, I can't trust Effie. No, he's gonna wake her up and be like, you should have did a better job. Like, next time you try to kill somebody, you call the professional, and I'll take care. Like, we're gonna take care of Lauren now, because now she's about to take all of us down. Like, that's what he should be thinking right now, because clearly he already found new love, or real love, because that was his old love.
I think he's confused. I think he's confused too.
Well, you saw the scene after he found out, and he came back and and she was like, "Well, it's something I've been wanting to tell you, but it's never been the right time." But I see the whole thing with Kane. Oh, it's lined up perfect now, because now Kane's dad is dead, and Tariq can't necessarily
Comfort her?
Yeah, because I'm like,
Oh, him.
I'm saying would Effie can comfort Kane or whatever because of whatever her issues are with her father. We might
Which
get
you
some
don't even know.
backstory as to that. But Tariq is going to be insensitive to that because he's killed his father. So he's going to be like, oh, well, you know, your dad had to die. You know, it is what it is. But, you know.
No, I don't think he is because remember that season when Kane was told to kill his dad? Tariq was basically trying to talk him out of it or make him understand that once he does this, you can't come back from it.
You can't come back from it.
Come back. So no, I don't think Tariq will be insensitive to Kane about his dad because he wouldn't have said that to Kane if he didn't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's not the thing that's going to get.
That last season, there was no reason. Now it's he killed Zeke, so there's a reason to now.
Yeah. That's not gonna get Kane to draws. Like that's not it. I can't.
No, what's gonna get Kane to draws is if Tariq rejects Effie. Rejects her because of what Lauren said.
Yeah.
And that's saying the culmination of the two.
It's not gonna be a consoling moment, bro. Like that's not Effie for one. Because again, Kane has been stalking this girl for most of this since he met her, actually. So she ain't gonna be the one to be like, now you can cry on my shoulder. No. So I mean, if she's rejected, Brayden would, I don't know about sex wise, she would more lean to Brayden to be like, why is Tariq treating me like this? Because they're in it together, actually. So he should be mad at both of his best friends, his girlfriend and his best friend, which is gonna change the whole dynamic of the whole situation. So it's not just Effie that he would be rejecting; it's both of them. So
you think Brayden is gonna just be totally checked out? Like he's gonna have like PTSD now because when they got him back, he was like, "Are you all right?" And he's like, "No, I'm not all right."
No, he wasn't.
Well, I mean, it looks like he had broken ribs, and
he wasn't even in the last scene. Like when they were at the hotel about to get on RSJ's plane, he wasn't even there. Yeah. So I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, did he go to the hospital? Like, did Kiki ever follow up with him? We didn't even address the phone. Like, is there so many things that were just like, fuck it, we'll wait till some other episode to get to this. I'm like, what? I was like, it don't make sense. Anyway, let's get to the comments. We got comments. Everybody.
Oh, I just want to say this one thing. Stacey's not here, so I'm just gonna say it. Brayden, keep on doing whatever it is you're doing in the gym, sir.
Yes. I told y'all.
Brayden is getting.
My boy Brayden got shredded this season.
Oh my gosh, I was like, wait a minute, look at you, shorts.
He works out regularly though. Like there was like even last year, they were like on Instagram, like the power thing I'm on, like they show him in the gym, like that's him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so unlike Bird Chest Man. But thank you, Kim, for representing for the big dude.
I'm like Teddy should have been doing that for his chair scene.
Yo, oh yeah, that
Salim needs to do it for sure.
Yeah, that's
Salim needs to get in it.
Definitely.
He needs the Tariq workout program. He needs the Brayden workout program. Both those black men do. Like they need to be gym with the white man. And so it's just
Michael Rainey has actually been in the gym too. He's gotten a little bigger.
All right, but let's. Which one would you rather see, Kim? Which one would you rather see? Brayden or Tariq? Thank you.
Brayden.
So like let's be real. Like so Effie talking about taking out Noma but couldn't even take out Lauren was insane. I agree with that. And we also got Monet is the worst mother in the Power universe. She's the most vicious. She's now killed both of her baby daddies. Like that's hardcore. Next would be Noma, who also murdered her baby daddy. And then Tasha and Raquel are tied for last because both of them tried to use their sons and they couldn't figure that out. Mm-hmm. So baby daddies fathers ain't worth nothing in this show, apparently. Today's episode was with that bullshit I missed. Yeah, it was that bullshit. Raquel better than Monet. What do you mean by better? Actually, you need to define that. Because I think Monet's hard. Monet's about that life. Monet kills people herself, unlike Raquel, who tries to get everybody else to do it, and then she can't, she does it herself. But she also likes to outsource that shit. We got. I feel you, DeMarcus. Rock is more sexy. Yeah, but that's not the same question. But the Italian scenes didn't match the Power universe. I actually like that. If they would have did it better, if they would have made it more serious and believable, I actually like the international idea that they got out of a New York City. They got out of and they tried to make some like international man of mystery, some bullshit. Like it made no sense because these are teenagers. but I like the idea that they were expanding.
It could have been like Miami was in the second season of the original Power, but they didn't.
But even then, but you're right. But again, the fact that they went even beyond that they tried to act like they were leaving the country, I thought was cool. But yeah, they would have made it more credible like that, Jamani. That would have been better. That would have been much better. But you can't have teenagers running around a mansion and all of a sudden getting into adventures. I thought I was watching Scooby-Doo there for a minute. Like I'm like, this is some silly shit. Like I was like, where's Shaggy? Though I guess Braden is Shaggy. Where's Scooby? That's the question. The CGI it was horrible, absolutely. Like damn it. Also, weapons. I really want to get back to the investigation of Zeke's and Mecca's murder. So I went back and watched the finale when Monet shot Mecca, and it looks like she shot him with the same gun that she shot Whitman with, both silver revolvers. So it's interesting that if they were good writers, which they are not, but if they were good writers, when Jenny says, hey, I checked this, that gun is registered, I checked it out, the ballistics would match. If they made any kind of effort, like the ballistics would match to be like, that's the same gun that someone killed Mecca with. And then we would have a story. And we could get into that, but not happening.
But we got to have at least another season. So we got to leave it where it is.
Wait.
Or another 2 seasons.
This was another funny thing, was Monet saying, I want these cops out of my house. They making my spot hot. Or whatever. And Clip Davis saying, you killed a cop. You hot no matter what.
Right.
Well, yeah, absolutely. That is true. But I think she's talking about towards the criminals. Like the criminals are like, why is all these cops around your house, Monet?
And there's gonna always be cops around you now that you killed a cop.
Yeah. But let's get into that conversation. How is it that 2 days later, now Jenny and Blanca come to the house with more forensic experts? Wait a
minute. David, why was Blanca there? She's DEA.
So I thank you for asking that question. Blanca should have showed up as soon as Mecca's bodies hit the ground. Because when his penthouse is now the Tejada penthouse, that should be a conversation. Hey, excuse me, Tejada family, what do you know about Dante Spears? What is your relationship with him?
But she didn't ask any of those questions, and Davis wouldn't have let her ask. But
I'm saying that to your point, this should have happened in episode 1.
Yeah,
because we need to make this connection, because now she passively refers to it as the Tejada penthouse, and I'm like, you're not asking questions how we got here. Right. Like Zeke, why was Zeke murdered at Dante's plane? All this shit would like just connect back to Monet, and none of this is being discussed. Instead, they have her talking to Diana, so we don't have to have this conversation. And I'm like, you need to be talking to Monet. I'm like, it don't make any sense. Fucking Noma finally comes back, is able to track Tariq in a whole other continent, but can't figure out that Davis was the one to put her engagement ring on at that auction. Still hasn't figured that out.
That still hasn't come back. I thought it was gonna come back. Wait.
Sax goes through Davis's office in broad daylight in a glass office.
I know, wasn't that ridiculous?
Wait, with 2 people, their 2 assistants sitting outside. Yeah. There was a black woman right behind him when he put the file back. I'm like,
oh man,
Power Book 2, what the fuck are we doing? Like,
yeah, that was ridiculous. I was like, everybody can see you.
And he took a picture. The sound effect was loud as hell.
I'm like, the black woman is sitting right there. She ain't been like, excuse me, why are you looking at the boss's stuff? Because it's Davis and Associates, which means Davis is in charge.
Right.
None of this is gonna come back. None of this is gonna get discussed.
And there's cameras in it too.
Plot convenience. That's what. Plot convenience.
Plot convenience, yeah.
But they couldn't even respect us enough to have fucking Sax come back that night and get the key, or I'm working late and I have to be here. Like something where the whole staff is not watching Sax do this shit.
Yeah.
Like
right.
Like when he got the burner phone that night.
Right. Like at least that made some type of sense that he went at night and tried to sneak around, I guess. I mean, that made a little bit of common sense. What else we got? They don't play fair with them. Drew's scenes, nobody wants to see that shit. I won't go that far. I mean, there's a place for it. I'm just saying, I don't want to see Braden. I don't want to see Brayden and Kiki not kind of fuck, because it didn't mean anything and it
Right.
didn't go
It didn't
anywhere.
connect.
No, I see this being I see it being integral to the storyline, to the simple fact that Courtney Kemp said that Drew is supposed to be like more
Like the Michael Corleone.
So basically, he's going to want to avenge the death of his father. Like it's not just like a hospitalization like it was in The Godfather. So, and now it's going to be a case of the person who killed him is the same person he's sleeping with.
Yeah.
If
I see them making that a story. I see them doing that.
That would be a nice storyline. You're giving these writers too much credit. And I say again, Courtney is not leading this thing the way she did in season 1. She's not. You know,
she's not. So like, well, I mean, yeah, she's not right. I told you she hasn't written for this show since 2020.
So I'm saying all the ideas that Courtney had is just suggestions. Okay, and I'm like at this point. So I again, I would love for them to go that route, because that would be awesome. That would be awesome. But I just got to fear that they're not going to do that. How did the CI thing even come up? Fucking Drew doesn't ask his lover / cousin or whatever, hey, who's on the phone? Like, who called you to say, hey, you know, that redneck? Oh yeah, by the way, he's a CI and he got shot. How do you know that's not a setup? How do you know that the cops aren't waiting for you to come show up to the hospital and arrest your silly asses?
Right.
Like, that didn't cross their minds. Like, that's kind of an odd phone call to get. And like, why didn't I know this before we started dealing with this dude, that he was a fucking CI? How did you know, Matt, random person on the phone? How did you know he was a CI?
Yeah.
Why didn't Kane kill
I'm telling
him?
you, I don't trust Gordo. I don't. I feel like something's going on with him. I'm telling you. Remember I said last week, I'm like, there's something, because he knew that was a CI. He knows what's going on. Because I feel like if his father was a snitch, he's a snitch too. And when he was defending himself to Drew, he was like, it was a little overkill. I'm not a snitch, basically, you know. I was like, you are a snitch, because you really going hard on I'm not a snitch. You know what I'm saying?
No, I hate you, right.
Okay, so let me ask you guys a question. So when everything gets revealed, right, that Kane is the one who really killed Frank, is it just going to be wiped clean? I killed your father. Well, I killed your father. Okay, we're even now.
No.
They're gonna kill the what's the last name? Costellos? What is their last name?
The Costellos,
I think. Yeah, the Costellos.
Yeah. They're gonna die. Tejadas are gonna get rid of the brothers for sure.
I admit Kane he did have a point though. Like, he should have took him out. We had the chance. Like,
I don't think that's even gonna come up, to be honest. I think
and then also too, remember when Monet having the family meeting after they showed Zeke's mural, right? And then they had the family meeting. They didn't have Diane there. But remember, Monet was saying, don't work with Gordo and the other brother, because she feels like there's something, you know, something's up. Yeah. And I said the same thing. I was like, there's something up. I'm telling you, they're snitches. And that's why the mother was like, no, I'm just gonna let it go. I don't want, and I understand what she's saying. She doesn't want her boys to get deeper, but no, there's something up with that family. If Frank was a snitch, then that means that after Frank died, they came to her for information, and then they probably went to the kids too. I'm telling you.
She even said it in I think the first and the second episode, that when she came to Monet's house, she was like, "There's some cops, you know, been asking questions, so what have you." So that was a red flag right there. So
that was Whitman, and we knew what Whitman was doing. Like, Whitman was looking into the dad's murder, so she identified. So he had showed, unless Whitman had her, like, you know, some kind of CI or something, which also never got revealed. You know what I'm saying? That would have that would have been something. So she identified the cop in that particular sense. But into that investigation, where did Lorenzo's fingerprint come from?
I don't know. I don't know, but he was at the hangar, right? He was.
Yeah.
So I went back.
What did he touch?
So I went back and watched, and I was about to call bullshit on it. But which they didn't tell you, though, he touched Dante's car, the one that Zeke was driving when he drove up after he shot Zeke from a distance. He never made it to the plane. But he went over to the car to look for Monet. That's why he went to the car, and he touched the car. Oh,
I remember that. Okay, so that's where they got the fingerprints.
If if they had some type of sense, they would be like, hey, we found your fingerprints on this. The reason I bring this up is because Monet and Tariq's fingerprints are in Mecca's fucking penthouse the night he was murdered. And when the entire DEA there investigating his murder, they would have found their fingerprints. Also, there was a witness. Like Tariq looked at the door guy when he went up that night. Like he said, hey, I need to be left. So there's witnesses and at the minimum fingerprints that put Tariq and Monet there. And Blanca has not looked into any of this shit. I'm like,
she's terrible, what? David. She's terrible.
Well, yeah. I'm like, she's looked into it because you see her with the surveillance thing at the end of last season, but she hasn't. I'm like, what could she do? Because I'm like, they could basically, if they went to trial, they could reasonable doubt each other. It could be this one. Monet did it, and then Tariq is, it could be bounced back and forth.
When they investigate a murder, right? If you're seen on camera and asking security person that I'm going up to Mega's penthouse, when they questioned the security guard, he would have said the only person that I let up was Tariq. This guy I've seen come a couple of times, and so wouldn't they have a conversation with Tariq saying? So the night Becco died, you were at his house. What were you doing there? How do you know him?
That's basic law and order.
Yeah, did Monet
remember Blanca said she didn't want to spook him though. She didn't. But
that's bullshit. That's bullshit. You still would have asked him because you want him to get spooked because maybe he will do something. Also, again, his fingerprint should have been there. Monet should have went up through that penthouse. There's only way we get up there. So do we?
That's what I was asking. Is there another way? Because they didn't say anything about her being on camera.
That's what I'm saying. But he wiped the cameras. He wiped the cameras because Effie showed him how to do it. So, but the witness, the doorman saw both of them and let them up at some point. But they're not getting to any of that bullshit. And I'm like, also speaking of bullshit investigations, so Monet calls Tariq and says, "I need to know if International Guap killed Zeke." Why the fuck would Tariq even know that?
That's what I'm. And then he goes, and I'm like, is that code? Because I'm like, then he goes to Tate, and I'm like, how do you get that from that message to then go and tell Tate he did it?
No. This is what happened, and this is God. I hate these writers. So what Tariq, being the mastermind that he is, he told Tate, who has Fed connections, that International fucking Guap killed Zeke. For counting on that, Tate would tell Jenny off camera. They want us to believe that Jenny ran down the alibi of IG off camera, told Tate, no, he couldn't have killed Zeke because he was here, here, and here. So then that's why Tate wrote back and said, you lying motherfucker. So that was fucking Tariq's evidence that obviously it must not have been IG. So that's why he was like, I got it from a solid source that it wasn't IG. And then Monet was like, okay.
And that whole thing did not make sense where like, okay, Tate text Jenny and all of a sudden off screen, and then he'd be like, you lying motherfucker. Like at least show something like Tate, something. But I was just so confused. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
But doesn't this put IG on Jenny's radar? You know, the guy who went missing days ago, the guy who, if you talk to him, that was probably hired to beat up fucking Drew, and he just disappeared. So like, they're going to be looking into him and be like, yeah, Monet killed him. Also, where's that mural at? Zeke's mural. Where is it?
Isn't it on the side of the bar?
Yeah.
We had so I didn't get that when I first saw it. Like last episode, I was like, where the fuck? It was only this episode that fucking Lorenzo got murdered in front of it that I'm like, what the fuck is he doing?
That was the irony of it, is that he got murdered in front of it. So, yeah.
But I'm like, he got killed at his family bar. It just happens to be that a mural was there. But I'm like, that's when I was like, oh, this must be at the bar. We shouldn't have to figure this shit out. Like, it should be like, hey.
I'm saying it was because basically she said, we're going to have a family meeting and said, you can go back to school now.
And she went inside the bar
and then talked.
All right. Because I did not understand the bar thing until this episode. But I was like, God damn it. And I was like, this is irritating. Unless they paid him off camera. Paid who off camera? He made a mistake. He thought he was Mecca, not Zeke. Yeah, but yes, that is true. I did like that scene though, Kim. To your point of acting, like I really felt like a couple fighting. Like
Yeah.
Monet,
Oh yeah,
definitely.
absolutely. Yeah.
Monet knew, but it wasn't until she got the confession that she was like, "You motherfucker!" Like that's when the anger really was like, "I can't believe you loud." And I love his. I felt like a man's answer of like,
Yeah.
"He's not my kid. Like our kids are fine. Like,
Right.
And what about our kids?
and
When
what
he
about
said that,
us?
I was like, that's real. Yeah.
Like,
Right.
fuck that other kid. Like, we got all
Yeah,
the kids that
basically.
we need to
Yeah.
worry about."
And he was right too. She did bring
Yeah.
this upon Zeke, and she didn't prepare him for this type of life. He didn't even want to deal with that type of life. Like she said that she told all the kids, keep Zeke out of it, keep Zeke. But you can't do that. You are a drug family, and anybody that you bring into the family is going to be in danger, right?
Yeah.
She should have trained Zeke how to take care of himself. But Zeke, we know, is a little special.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
speaking towards that, what the scene that they had in the kitchen was like, oh, you're gonna be the first one to go to college, to finish college, and it's all gonna be because I'm gonna let you stop drug dealing. Like, I was like, what the hell type of message is
Hey,
thank
baby,
you, Daddy. I'm gonna stop drug dealing and I'm gonna get a college degree.
look at you, girl. I know you black, but you doing better. I was like, damn it. I was like, I did. Oh my god, the whole anyway. It all irritates me. It is all yeah, misunderstanding. Zeke. Oh, people think. Okay, so daughter. Where was the daughter? To I mean, KJ's point, and I think we all agree. This random ass, Noma daughter don't make any kind of sense. Where?
Oh,
is
she's
Right.
got to be coming soon. She's got to be. I don't know. For me, I don't know if it's
Oh, did
Kiki
they
or
hit-
whether it's Effie, but I feel
Yeah.
like it's going to be one of those two young ladies.
So that's
that-
what people say in the chat.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I thought
yeah. It's like I heard like a ridiculous theory that okay, it's Effie, it's Norma's daughter.
no.
Or some shit like that.
Kiki,
No.
Kiki, maybe. Kiki,
It may be,
maybe.
yeah.
But it's not
Yeah.
Effie. Also, they're in a photo together. No, that little girl is bad writing. That little girl is probably with Noma's nanny. Like she ain't no little girl that she don't know where her daughter's at. You know what I'm saying? Like she knows where her child is at. Is that they didn't show us the child, but that's still a child. Like that painting was quite recent. Like it didn't look like that was years ago, and that little girl grew up and she don't know where her kid is. That's how I took it anyway. We're not gonna see that little girl. We don't see Noma in 2 episodes, and she's the main villain. So
Yeah.
little girl ain't not coming. But that's how stupid this
She
show
was on
is.
The Crew Has It last week. She was on The Crew Has It last week.
The daughter?
No, Noma.
Oh, Noma. I was like,
Obi.
that's like, again, I'm like 2 episodes. And she's like, hello. She's a cartoon villain at this point. I know that you're in
Yeah.
Italy. It's because Tariq is now the mastermind partner she always wanted, because he's the only one who figured out how to get her baby daddy out of his penthouse, like out of his mansion. He's the only one that figured out that, hey, he has to leave at some point. And she's like, oh my God, you the
That scene was the dumbest thing in the world. All right, so they start shooting. He has Tariq's hand and he's pulling him, right?
Yeah.
And they start shooting, right? And is Tariq could have used Tariq like
Human shield.
Wesley Snipes used that little girl in New Jack.
As a shield.
I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
it was
like
just,
a ship. Yeah.
it was, I was like, how are you have a gun, he's unarmed, and there's shooting that happens, right? And how do you end up dead? I'm like, you use that to get cover at some point. He just stood there and died. I was like,
I mean, think about it. He's not actually I don't think that man does this like on a regular basis. Like he just runs and points guns at people. He's a businessman. So no, he's not thinking, oh, let me just use. Plus, Tariq was much taller than that man. And Tariq was actually bending down very uncomfortably. He was like bending down when the guy had the gun in his face.
Oh, so he could look
because
like scared? Yeah, he was like,
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Michael Rainey's pretending to be scared. I was like, dude, you need to work on that face, buddy. Go in the mirror and start working on that face, because he looked like he was constipated. Like,
I mean,
Oh,
again,
man.
if this was a show we're supposed to take seriously, this businessman would have went after RSJ, because everyone
Right.
says,
Yeah.
how did these kids get into my house? You,
Yeah, right.
like you're the one that brought these big fuckers running around in my house. So
Right.
that would have been an issue. Also, they're
Probably.
teenagers, right?
and he said,
How
who do you work for? You know who he works for, because who got them the
Exactly. I'm like, you get him and strap RSJ to a fucking chair and be like, and this is where RSJ figures out who Tariq really is. Like that's a
Yeah,
moment.
like connect, like make it connect. Like
Yes.
And I'm
something.
like, you say, who do you work for, right? He literally works for Braden's family, and he had Braden.
Also true. Also true.
And he said, like to Braden, we investigate everybody who comes to the house. So they already know who they are and they already know who they work for. So what did he say that for?
I love how the businessman is the only one that has Google. He's like, I know who you are because I Googled your family. So
I looked you up.
I like. Also, did Effie have to give up a hand job to get away from that henchman who happened?
Didn't it seem like that was a little sus?
Yo, hey, hello. I was like, again, off camera. He just really takes her through the private art.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Nah, she checked them hands, bro. Tariq. She did something. She did something. I was like,
I don't think she did anything. I think she was just beautiful, and the guy was mesmerized by her. That's it.
Not a lot.
No.
I just be like, hey, I had to.
I choose to believe that Effie is not that type of woman. No, she did not jerk. She did not.
Also, why did they put her in that unusable dress? Knowing what she had to do, right? It's a script, right? Mm-hmm. Why would you put her in this little ass fucking mini? She looked gorgeous, don't get me wrong, but like this miniskirt where she has to hop around like a fucking floozy. Like, give her something she can move in. She looked ridiculous.
It was a little tight.
As capable as Effie is, give her a dress so she can move around and she don't look stupid. She looks stupid. I mean, like, let me get down. Let me.
She could barely move. She was like a bunny rabbit. Like,
but she was there to be sexy, though.
But again,
I mean, that's
dresses that you can kill in. We've seen that in True Lies. We've seen that in many other shows.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
but I mean, Angelina Jolie walks around in movies with gowns on, and she's like killing people. So gowns are not comfortable.
To the point she's still killing them. But like that miniskirt ain't it. Like if her whole job was just to look pretty and be eye candy, that's one thing. But I got to look for spy gear.
Braden was the one who would know, but Effie wasn't supposed to be fine. It was Braden's job to find it, and Effie went in there to help him.
Also, not Braden's job. They were both looking, and Braden just happened to bumble across the room, and then she left him. And I'm like, so it wasn't
because Effie came in there. She was looking out. She was outside looking to make sure nobody comes in.
And she left him by himself.
And then Braden was in there looking. And so and then he all of a sudden got the other guy came from the other door. So no, Effie was not supposed to be looking. It was Braden. Braden was supposed to be looking.
So the whole plan was have one dude.
So the bug, right? I'm like, we watched Godfather of Harlem, and when that the guy swept his office and he found bugs all in Malcolm X's, and this is the 60s, and they were smaller than this big ass remote controller thing they found under the desk.
Yes. I was like, this.
You look like a USB flash drive.
Dude, I was like, this shit is, what are we doing? What are we doing, Power Book 2? I'm like, y'all embarrassing yourselves. Like, I'm sad watching this.
It's Break Mahoney. I'm telling you, David, it's Break Mahoney. That's it. That's it.
Also, you got children. Why didn't fucking the businessman just send henchmen to the hotel since he knew probably where they were staying and just kidnap these fuckers, all of them, and be like, look, you give me that thing or you're getting murdered. Like, I don't have to negotiate with you, child. I can just I can just torture you like I did your friend here. And how all those bruises, he's gonna come home again with bruises and nobody's gonna know it. Just like his car got Cloud. We talk about the Cloud. Let's remember, Braden almost killed a jewelry store owner. On camera with a Cloud, and that went nowhere.
Nowhere.
I thought it was Bieber. He looked like Bieber. She did something. You talking about Effie? I guess she did something. I'm just saying they could have given her more clothes. She looked more useful. I'm just saying. What does number 2 work for? What? Who does number 2 work for? Who's number 2? I don't get that. Hey, get the Snowfall. We're gonna do Snowball. It's a much better show that can be respected. That's a good question. How did RSJ know that Tariq spoke Italian? It could be because he translated those paperwork, which basically everything Tariq act like he did, Kiki should have did up until this point. She's the one that brought the tech company to the Western Holdings. She was the one that fucking should have been negotiating this deal, which she did in the board meeting. Mind you, it was her doing most of the talking along with RSJ. Braden shouldn't even been in the room. Like, what did he bring to the table?
But Braden is the representation of Weston. He is the talking piece because his father wasn't there and his uncle wasn't there. So Weston had to be there.
That was not established.
But I mean, it's just common sense, though. I mean, he's a Western. Why else would he be there?
Oh, again, that's my point. Is that we have to sit here and guess. He's there because he's the main character, and they needed him to get his ass whooped and be in his draws.
I think he's there because he's a Western.
That should have been established. I'm saying, if the brother, I mean, it's not that hard. If I can't go, he will represent us. It's a line of dialogue. I'm just saying
because I mean, RSJ said it. He was like, I can go with the young interns and I'll be fine. I don't need you.
So
you know?
I mean, so it'd be like, I think I also keep Effie should have got more credit. The only reason they got this deal was because she gave the leverage information about the technology being fucked up, which you never got to technology. And not once did Tariq go, here's my girl. Like, she's the one that, hey, RSJ, this is F, you know what I'm saying? She's the one that gave us the information. Like, some kind of credit for that. I thought it would have been nice. So then when RSJ tries to mentor him as the son he always wanted, and then, Tariq has to kill him, he'll be like, sorry, baby, another daddy figure gone. You know how it is. It's hard. It's hard out here. But I thought
he might survive. I'm like, we have Davis, we have Tate. There are men in his life that have lived.
Davis is not trying to be a father figure. Like, that's a lawyer and he gets paid. Like, RSJ is doing this whole bullshit. I'm just like you, and my daddy wasn't shit either. And what can I like? Yeah. Like, so
he was a numbers runner. I was like, Ghost was a huge drug dealer, like huge.
We all started somewhere.
A numbers runner is really like a smidge on the radar. Like, yeah.
But maybe later on they'll be like, you know what? My daddy was the biggest drug dealer in my country. I didn't want to let you know that because I would be like, but I understand you. Like, this is the character they should connect to Ghost's, to your point, to Ghost's history, not fucking Mecca. And we would have found that he was some kind of like supplier before Lobos or something like that. Who was supplying Ghost and Tommy before Lobos? Like that that would have been interesting. If it wasn't RSJ, it was his family or something like that. Like that would be an interesting connection. Yeah, I think RSJ and Ghost knew each other. We want them to know each other. That's what we want. But these writers don't give a fuck. They just don't.
It would just make an interesting story. Okay, because he's so interested in Tariq, right?
Let me say some clickbait or some. Let me troll. What if RSJ's father is Breeze?
Nah, he's too old for that. I'm sorry.
No, and RSJ, because Breeze is more than a numbers runner. Well, I guess to a kid, his father probably wouldn't tell him.
RSJ is pretty.
RSJ is like my age. He's pretty up there.
Yeah, but we don't know how old Breeze was necessarily though.
I can't see his son doing far. I can't. Yeah, I see your point. I mean, supplier, baby. I can't see family. I can't see like people. He could be. Even though that don't make any damn sense. I mean, he could be like Ghost's secret brother or some bullshit.
Because remember, I know we're not going by Courtney anymore, but Courtney always said that Ghost had a brother. Yeah. She said at first she said a brother or a sister.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't know. We don't.
I thought I was watching Power, but it turned into Mission Impossible / Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
I would say Ocean's 8. Well, actually, with the women. Women got involved, so I would say Ocean's 13 when they brought in like the girlfriends and they helped out. I would say yes. But I see your point. Mission Impossible, no, that's giving the show way too much credit. Let's not do that. Damn. I was thinking Mr. and Mrs. Smith because when I saw Tariq and Effie like trying to do the mission together, I was like, oh, that's what they're going for. And then it got silly because the show gets silly.
Or Mr. and Mr. Smith with Gordo and Jim.
You killing it, man. Stop it.
Wow.
Mr. and Mr. Smith, I like that. If they were also, why is it the two mothers are not discussing the fact that their sons who used to be play cousins are fucking? Like, how is this not we need to acknowledge this? Like, because Monet was also so cool with
remember they each said, like Gordo, they said that they hadn't seen each other since they were little kids. So no, they didn't grow up as close as you're making it seem. They grew up, they were little kids to round each other, yes, when they were little kids, but growing up, they didn't grow up with them. They've been out of their lives for a while. So right. You can bang him.
I get the implication that Frank was snitching and kind of like had something involved with Lorenzo going away. So it was like as they were around while Lorenzo was around. Then when Lorenzo disappeared, their family disappeared.
Yeah, they stopped. Yeah, when they stopped hanging around.
I don't remember any of those things that, were those memories of you with Lorenzo. Just like she doesn't know anything about Gordo and that family and everything like that. That's stuff that the older kids remember from when they were younger.
Yeah, and then Diana, and then the age difference. I'm trying to understand the age difference too. Because Diana's like, I don't remember Poppy playing spades. Well, you have to worry about that anymore.
Because she was young. She was a baby.
But I'm like, I don't know the age difference between her and like the Kane and Drew. Like they don't look that far apart, but she makes it seem like that she's like they're like years.
They look far apart to me.
They're all under 21. I don't think Kane or Drew are over 25. I don't think so. Like,
yeah, but they're older than Diana. I think Diana's maybe 19.
That's a few. It's just still like a few years. I don't know. I mean, I get that.
She's 19. Remember, Zeke was only 22.
24. I thought it was 24. Anyway,
he was actually 24, but they said he was 22.
In the character, I was like, it was just crazy. What is Tariq's storyline at this point? None care for his father anymore. Everyone playing on this new level is a criminal. Outside of the blackmail, why is Tariq in crime? Just go full Grand Theft Auto. It already is. They just doing random shit to see what happens. We just gotta be here for it. But anyway, let's get to a good show. And that's Snowfall. Kim, any last words?
No. Well, hopefully the next episode is better than this one. Because like I said, I enjoyed this one. I thought Mary did a really good job. I love when she was talking. Oh my gosh, what is the mother's name?
Evelyn.
Evelyn. Yeah, Evelyn. Okay. Yeah, I was about to call her Lauren, her real name. But anyway, she I love when they were having the conversation. Like I said, Mary J. Blige's her acting was really spot on. I was like, you did a really good job. And then when she talked to Gordo, when she was sitting on the steps and she was drinking cognac, you could see the despair she's in, right? We don't see these things from Monet. She's either angry or she's happy or she's angry. Most of the time she's angry. And you could see that it's starting, it really is wearing on her, right? And then to find out that your husband is the one who took your firstborn child, it was all over her. It was just all over her. So I really enjoyed that. So let's hope Mary keeps up being this wonderful actress, right? We see all the emotions from her, not just one emotion. So so I'm hoping it gets better. But I can't, there's no prediction because I don't know. The only thing I could say is that Lauren is going to be eliminated.
Yeah.
They haven't. The one thing Tariq has is no choice but to get rid of her. He doesn't. He can be mad at Braden. He can be mad at Effie. But at the end of the day, Lauren is the one that can put him in jail.
Yeah.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And I think him and Braden will come back from it, right? Just like Tommy and Ghost always come back from their arguments. And I think that he will be with Effie, but not in a romantic sense. He'll do business with her, but he's not going to sleep. That's their girlfriend, boyfriend stuff. That's over. That's what I think.
We got to see. Thank you.
And Salim's got to die. Salim has to go. I think Kane is going to take care of that.
Perhaps we got to see if it's still going to be a problem. We're still going to be a problem.
To Kim's point, I think Effie's days are like not numbered, but I think Effie's going to jail because in the previews we saw her running from the cops. But we don't. I mean, I'm just saying from my prediction, But on the other half of that, I think she's going to like eventually get like catched by the cops in that scene. I don't know like what's going to happen in the full of that contest of that scene, but judging from what I saw, I think the cops going to catch her for somewhat when she's running from the cops.
Yeah, but I think Davis is going to get her out.
Oh yeah,
I think Davis will get her out.
New York. I mean, like conflict of interest. Like, how are you everybody's lawyer? Like, and then show up to court.
Proctor was everybody's lawyer. Proctor, he was everybody's lawyer.
But they caught him on that. They caught him on that when Silver brought it up.
Hey, I can't handle this. Silver has to be the face of this, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's just like, are we gonna outsource anything? Is always Davis, and I'm like,
this is what I think too, Jamani. I think Saxe might step in because he's mad at Jenny. He might step in. He might step in and assist the drug dealers even though it's against everything that he is. But Saxe is really pissed off at Jenny, so he might help them out.
He looked pretty pathetic in this in that.
Oh yeah, because but that's the thing. He's really in love. Remember the Saxe who used to jerk off at work to porno? Remember that Saxe?
I remember.
He's changed a lot.
I'm just saying, like, it was just weird to be like, I'm following her because she may be sleeping with somebody. I was like, what are we doing, bro? Like this.
He's a guy with feelings. They gave Saxe some feelings.
They did not do a good job of establishing this. Like it was. I mean, the last time we saw him, he was being choked out with a sheet or some crazy shit, and now all of a sudden, like he was like, oh, this is the love of my life. I was like, come on, bro. Like
to that point,
okay.
Right? I hope to God that Redman is gone, right? So I hope to God we don't have to see the whole him going to court and retrying the case and trying to get his brother off.
Oh.
And Davis is too busy. Now Saxe has to be the lawyer who comes in and takes care of Tariq and Effie and all of that stuff because Davis is too busy handling his brother's stuff.
Yeah.
But I have a question. Is that ethically okay for you to defend your brother? Can you do that as a lawyer?
Yeah.
You can? Okay. Well, then maybe that's true. Maybe what you said, Jemani, is true, and that's why Saxe has to step in.
All off camera though. I mean, I gotta
I
gotta give the show more respect that they're not gonna. That's not the trial that we're gonna see on TV. Diana getting arrested. That's a character that we can see on TV. And I can see that. I think
Effie.
No, Diana. Oh no. Someone who's running from the cops. You said
Effie. It's Effie.
So Effie getting arrested. I already thought that was gonna be Diana, to be honest, since she's dealing drugs out of the thing. But if Effie gets arrested, a main character being arrested, you'll see that trial. But you need a prosecutor.
I think Monet is going to jail.
Jenny already set Effie up. Remember, she said, I know about the spot on the rooftop or whatever. So if Diana's not selling drugs on campus anymore, she could get caught red-handed at the spot on the rooftop.
Yeah.
You know what? That is true, Jemani, because Effie is the one hiding the drugs in the bricks.
Yeah. That's her spot.
So that's why she's gonna get arrested.
Yeah. That's her spot.
Oh, I got it.
So Effie gets arrested. So that's Davis's new case, and he'll need $1 million, and he'll get her off. Somehow. Also, no one figured out that someone broke into dead Whitman's house and stole the files because that was a thing. Like you would think that they went into the dead cop's house and discovered that, but Davis hired the right niggas, I guess, who didn't get caught, as he put it. I was like, killing me.
I'm like, wait, so this is never really a question because this doesn't typically happen, but a dirty cop how does the blue wall of silence really still stick up? Because I'm like, are you gonna disavow him after he's dead? He got caught red-handed doing something dirty in somebody's house and got killed.
Well, it's interesting you should bring that up.
He was already suspended, so it's like we can't. They like the union or the brotherhood. They can't really go hard for him as if he was like, he really died in the line of duty. He's not going to get like a 21 gun salute funeral.
Well, he's not going to get all that, but somebody breaks into his house, that's a separate thing. But to your point, it's interesting that when Jenny and, Saxe and Blanca were mourning him, they seem to forget the fact that he broke into Tejada's house. They murdered him. He was in their fucking house. They're somehow skipping this whole thing that he broke into their house, or how did they get into the house and why was he there in the first place? They make it seem like he was just walking down the street, minding his own business, and they just shot him down. I'm like, that's not.
No, they're in the same mindset of like, oh, we crossed the line and he crossed the line. So, we all do it. It like this Blanca and her, the way she did Latasha with the I'm gonna take your kid and all this type of they crossed the line so much that it's like, well, yeah, we can understand.
Well, I said every day it's business as usual.
Lauren illegally. Yeah. I'm like, all the stuff Saxe has done. I'm like, they're just like,
Saxe. It's funny when Jenny says that we all gonna end up this way. Saxe doesn't remind his girlfriend of how many people died in his previous office. It's funny you should bring that up because my last staff all gone. There's a reason why I'm the only one still standing.
Yeah, you're going after Tariq. Let me tell you what his father did. He tied me up and put a bag.
and whoop my ass as I was pleasing myself. Hilarious.
And see, and that's another thing too. He's never talked about that either. Like when
No,
Tommy wanted to kill him, Tommy
No.
wanted to take him
Yo.
out, and Ghost was like, no.
That
He
was
never talks about that. But if he's
Because
so
remember,
in love with
Ghost
Jenny,
said,
why didn't talk
You
about
don't
it?
kill law enforcement.
That's
I
right. That was
law enforcement.
that was he's not law enforcement anymore. That was one of the best scenes. I love how they were circling him. Like they were like, okay, let's figure this out. Anyway, someone left our channel. I appreciate you, Monica, at least acknowledging that you're leaving us. It was we're just
He left the channel. Why?
yeah. She said we're too hard on these shows.
Oh,
man.
I'm so sorry, sweetheart.
Hey, it happens.
Oh, it happens. Yeah.
We like this show. I ain't get to defend my damn self. Hey, it was nice having you. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Come back.
thanks.
Yeah, come
Thanks
back
for the
anytime.
memories.
Yeah, we had good times, but you know what? We real. This show got problems, okay, and that's what we do. That's our role in the Power universe. Is to be honest.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah, it's
constructive criticism.
Constructive,
There's
there you
nothing wrong
go.
with that.
Well, we should rename the channel that. No, I'm not doing all that, but I mean, it would be interesting if we did that. Anyway, guys, that's it. KJ, we appreciate you. We will see you for episode 10. To Kim and Jamani, let's get to fried chicken.
Hey, that'll probably be the next time we see Noma. Every time KJ comes, we see Noma. So
That's
Bye,
it.
KJ.
Hey, you know
see
what? All right, Jamani, since you said it, next any episode she's in, KJ, you get to be a part of them.
Oh, cool. Well, how does he know? How is he gonna know?
I mean, we'll see the episode. He's gonna watch the episode anyway. I'm saying
Okay,
the episode. Know that I will invite you. That's what I'm saying. So we'll
Okay.
see you.